Coach Rick Pitino talking about the sex scandal surrounding U of L's basketball program when he says the school will learn the results of the NCAA investigation.
The state education commissioner calls the situation dire. Coming up, the steps he's taking to save two struggling JCPS schools.
Arrested twice for assault and harassment. What the lawyer for an LMPD officer told a judge today.
We go from highs in the 80s tomorrow to lows in the 40s later on this week. When to expect the chill, plus timing out our next opportunity for some rain.
And registering to vote at the drive-thru, the unique effort to make sure everyone has a voice.
This election is important to everyone, but especially to those of us and people of color.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. I'm David Scott.
And I'm Lindsay Allen. Rick Pitino talks sex scandal during U of L's basketball media day.
WDRB Sports Director Tom Lane was at U of L today as the coach talked about the ongoing NCAA investigation into the program and a possible timetable. Tom?
Yeah, Rick Pitino and each of the players I asked about it said the NCAA investigation is not a factor and not having an effect on their preparations for this season. And while Pitino said he certainly doesn't know for sure, he believes there may not be a final answer on this investigation for quite a while to come.
You know, I think once the notice of allegations come out, then the school will comment on all that. We haven't even got to that point yet. Look, this is going to probably, I know you probably know it better than me, it's probably going to go to June or July before we resolve this. And that's probably a lot quicker than North Carolina and Syracuse went through. So it's probably going to be June or July before we get closure on this. But as far as our basketball team is, we have full closure with this.
The players are excited about playing faster this season. They discussed that a bit in sports.
All right, Tom, we'll see you then. Two Jefferson County public schools are failing so badly, the state of Kentucky is stepping in.
Officials say they simply can't sit back and watch this any longer. In a story you'll see only on WDRB tonight, Lauren Smith explains what the state is doing to rescue the schools.
The schools are Maupin and Wellington Elementaries, and the state's education commissioner says the situation is so dire, he's launching an intervention. Maupin Elementary is the lowest performing school in the state. Last year, less than 18% of students were proficient in reading. This year, that score dropped 5 points. The news even worse in math, the score plummeting from 17% to just below 9%. At Wellington, the scores are not as low, but they've been declining. A drop of more than 2 points in reading proficiency from last year and more than 12 points in math. The state's education commissioner says it's time to take action.
It's a pretty dire situation. I mean, there's something that needs to be done, and something pretty significantly.
Pruitt says he plans to send in the troops. Each school will undergo a top-to-bottom assessment of its leadership, curriculum, and faculty. The state will then recommend a turnaround plan.
And they are going to have to subject themselves to some type of school turnaround to ensure that we're providing the education for these kids that they deserve.
JCPS Superintendent Donna Hargan says she welcomes the state intervention.
We know that there is work to be done there, but those are things that we had identified already. So this is an opportunity for them to learn from a diagnostic review.
Maupin has been part of the Districts of Innovation program, giving JCPS flexibility to experiment with new programs. I asked Harkins if this means the experiment is failing.
Things don't happen overnight, so there is no quick results. There's no silver bullet.
But Pruitt says he simply cannot afford to wait.
We do try to pride ourselves in being a service and a partner to our districts and schools first, but there's also that compliance part of it that we have to ensure that kids are getting what they need.
WDRB.com education reporter Tony Kahns goes in depth about what this intervention means and the steps the state can take to try to turn the schools around. You can see that story right now on WDRB.com. In the newsroom, Lawrence Smith, WDRB News.
A Louisville police officer accused of domestic violence against his wife pleads not guilty.
Desmond Moore was arrested for the second time on Friday for violating conditions of his release and harassing communications. He was arrested in September on assault charges. Moore did not show up in court today. Rather, his attorney entered the not guilty plea for him. Police say Moore's wife awoke to find him standing over her while she was in bed last week. Moore has been placed on administrative reassignment at LMPD.
A man accused of murder in Louisville is mistakenly released from the Pike County Jail. Terrence Moore Jr. and his brother Kentry Moore are accused in the shooting death of 21-year-old Tyrone Booker Jr. Moore was recently in the Pike County Jail to face robbery accusations. Officials there say no holding papers were filed through the State Department of Corrections, so he was released.
Very surprised today that my client had been released. And it really, what does, it sets me back again, because in the meanwhile, we really don't know when he's going to avail himself to court.
A warrant has since been issued for Moore's rearrest.
Surveillance video captures the moment a man was murdered last night in southern Jefferson County.
WDRB's Katrina Helmer reveals what happened seconds before and after gunshots were fired.
Customers come and go all day long at the Dealmaster Food Mart on Blevins Gap Road near Dixie Highway. But Monday night, around 10 o'clock, police tape roped off the parking lot where a man was found shot in a car. The coroner says 58-year-old David House, who lived in the area, died later that night at the hospital.
Do you save a lot of trouble over here?
Scott Middleton lives nearby and comes to the store every week.
I didn't hear anything, so I don't know what happened, but I'm sorry to hear anything happened.
Surveillance cameras line the outside of the store, and an employee says they captured everything. He can't release the footage, but says it shows a person shooting House and then getting into a different car and driving off.
This is a bad neighborhood.
This woman brought her friend to the convenience store and wants to remain anonymous.
I come over here for her to take her places. And I don't feel safe myself coming over here, because you never know if I'm going down the road, somebody's going to shoot.
She moved away 2 years ago because she says the area was getting too dangerous.
We couldn't even come out our door unless somebody's out here wanting to fight you or kill you or shoot you or whatever.
An employee at the Food Mart says this is the first time anything like this has ever happened at the store.
There's no car.
Well, lots of sunshine out there now, but there are storm clouds on the horizon.
Meteorologist Rick DeLuca with a look ahead. Rick, we can use the rain.
We could use a little bit of rain. That is the truth. Our chances, however, not looking very healthy in the coming days, although we have a couple pepper throughout that 7-day forecast. Today, no rain. I know you woke up this morning, stepped outside, looked up, saw those clouds and thought, oh, do I need the umbrella? Well, you didn't. We kept it dry, and those clouds quickly fell apart, leading us to lots of sunshine this afternoon and some summer-like warmth. Highs today made it to around 79 degrees, definitely not feeling like October at all. We're currently sitting at 77, south wind at 10 miles an hour across Jefferson County, more 70s as far as the eye can see, and the same story for the rest of Kentucky, and numbers between 73 and 78. Stormview HD showing the mostly sunny skies, a few passing clouds overnight, otherwise mostly clear, cool, and comfortable yet again. Temperatures will start to fall from the 70s where we are right now. Once that sun sets at 7:10, back down to 75 degrees at 7 o'clock, upper 60s to near 70 by 9, and then quiet and mild first thing tomorrow morning, waking up to low temperatures in the 50s. I'll talk about exactly when a big change arrives, because we're going to go from highs in the 80s tomorrow to low temperatures in the 40s, plus timing out our next chance for some rain.
Nice weather can't last forever. We know that. Thank you, Rick. Well, today was the deadline to register to vote in the upcoming election.
WDRB's Stefan Johnson tells us why it's still not too late for you to help make a difference, even if you missed the deadline. Stefan?
Today, the Urban League, the NAACP, and behind me, the county clerk's office registered hundreds of voters. But even if you missed today's deadline, there's still something you can do to help increase voter turnout.
Register to vote.
It is nonstop action in front of the Louisville Urban League on West Broadway.
Everybody's vote counts. I just wish that everybody get out here. I rushed straight off from work to get out here.
In the last few days, the Urban League and NAACP have registered hundreds of voters.
I heard on the radio for like the last 3 days, they've really been pressing it from B96 all to 101.3.
Voters like Kevin Pichel, who recently moved and wants to make sure his voice and vote count in the November elections.
I just want to make sure my paperwork and everything was in order.
Workers spent Tuesday afternoon registering voters on foot, in cars, and even on TARC buses.
We've registered 200 people here today, just on Broadway.
Sadiqa Reynolds is president and CEO of the Urban League and says even if you miss Tuesday's deadline, you can still help increase voter turnout.
If for whatever reason you cannot vote, you can still volunteer. Take other people to the polls, make sure they get there.
This election is important to everyone, but especially to those of us and people of color.
Raul Cunningham is president of the NAACP and says Republican, Democrat, or Independent, your vote is crucial.
Voting will determine the direction that the nation will go in these next 4 years.
Chappelle Potter, Big Homie, broadcasting live from 16th and Broadway.
That's why even the urban radio stations are dedicating their airtime and talent to the cause.
Kind of scary jumping out their cars, hey, big homie, and things like that. So it's just great to see that what we do actually hits the community other than, you know, just a major event.
And now that you've registered to vote, you can go to the county clerk's office and pull up one of these sample ballots. It makes it very easy for you, and it also tells you who is on the ballot, so there are no surprises on Election Day. Live at the county clerk's office, I'm Stefan Johnson, WDRB News.
All right, Stefan, thank you. Yum Brands is staying in Louisville. That's according to the company's CEO. Greg Creed told investors today that Yum is not going to be, in his words, shutting down the company's Louisville headquarters. Yum is the parent of KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut. Its division in China is about to become a separate company. Yum also plans to cut its expenses as it shifts more restaurants to franchisees. After all the planned moves, about 800 corporate jobs will stay in Louisville as part of this shift. WDRB.com business reporter Chris Otts has more about what Yum executives said in New York today. You can find that story on our website.
The little girl from Florida, taken from her family this weekend, is now back with her parents. This video shows 4-year-old Rebecca Lewis happy and safe. She's seen there running into the arms of a Memphis, Tennessee police officer after a very scary 2 days. Police say the child was taken from her family Saturday by 31-year-old West Wild Hogs. An employee at a Memphis hospital called police yesterday after recognizing the child and Hogs from an Amber Alert. When officers arrived, they found the pair in a car leaving a parking garage. As you can imagine, news that the girl was found was just what her worried parents needed to hear.
Joy.
My heart sunk.
Joy.
And joy.
That he did not hurt her and he did what we asked, take her to a safe place.
We're excited. Anytime we can recover a baby from all information we receive now, healthy and well, and the guy responsible for it's locked up, it's a great day.
Investigators say it's not yet clear why Hogs took the girl, but his family told police he suffers from depression and a bipolar disorder. He lived with the Lewis family when Rebecca was just an infant. Hogs was asked to leave after threatening them with a gun.
Louisville seeing a dramatic rise in car accidents, more crashes and more fatalities. Why every driver in the city could end up paying the price.
It may look odd, but this interchange may actually save lives. Where it's being put locally and how exactly it will work.
Any rain so far this month, but that could change in the next 36 hours when this cold front delivers the chance for some showers, plus when to expect low temperatures back down through the 40s.
3:33 at McDonald's. Ah, the taste of success. Fine dining is even